Hey there, and happy Good Friday to all of you. My name is Terry, and I am a teacher, and I have been doing a lot of live classes today. And so I thought, while I've already got the camera out and I'm already recording, I thought that I'd just take this opportunity to share a message with anybody who wants to take the time to listen, um, and just see if anybody else is kind of feeling the same way that I'm feeling right now. Besides being a teacher, I teach middle school and college English. I'm an English and history teacher. And above that, I'm also a mother and a woman, obviously. And I have just been doing so much pondering over this time of quarantining. I think that's the word, right? Quarantining. I'm an English teacher. I guess I should know that. But this time of being quarantined, I've had a lot of time, like all of us have, to really think about some big issues. And besides being all of those other things that I just told you that I am, I'm also a very devout Roman Catholic. And the most important thing in my life really is Jesus. Jesus is literally everything to me. And as you know, being a Catholic right now, that we've had our sacraments pulled, we've had the Mass pulled, we have gone through a period of Lent that is unprecedented and like none other. And through this time of having Mass not being available to us as it always has been, and not being able to receive the sacraments as we, have always been able to do. And quite frankly, I've always, it never really crossed my mind that I would live in a time period where this could even happen. I know in the book of Revelation, it talks about a time when, when the Eucharist will be pulled. And now I'm wondering, that's one thing I'm pondering. Are we in this time? Is this the time that the book of Revelations is referring to? But even above that, I kind of am wondering if, God allows everything because God's in control of everything. But I'm wondering if this is really a chastisement to all of us Catholics, because maybe, just maybe, as much as we don't think we do, as much as we're not thinking that we are, have we taken this incredible gift that we have that goes even really beyond any kind of earthly gift we could ever have, of being able to literally receive God? Have we taken that for granted? And so I'm wondering if God is allowing this time of Lent for us to really have to, to sit back and think about, did I appreciate the fact that I was literally able to receive God every day at Mass and have this incredible miracle? I know I was listening to Father Barron, Bishop Barron, the other night, and he was saying that there was only, oh my goodness, it was like 70%. I hope, please don't misquote me. I'm not sure on my stats. I'm not very good at remembering stats that well. But saying that there was, this huge percentage of Catholics that go to Mass every Sunday, but that don't actually believe in the real presence of Christ. And when I heard that, it really made me think even more so of, God, is this a chastisement? What are we supposed to learn through all of this? What lesson is it that you are, that you're bringing to us that we're supposed to be getting out of this? And I can just tell you, I grew up as a cradle Catholic, and I went through a period of time in my early 20s. I had a real reconversion to my Christianity, not necessarily to Catholicism at that time, but to Christianity as a whole, to this incredible experience and rebirth with Jesus, that it's hard to explain and hard, it would take a whole other video time to tell you about it. But and I went on this real search. I went to Medjugorje, had a wonderful, incredible, life-changing experience there. And then after that time, I started spending a lot of time reading the Bible, and I got so excited about the Bible, so that I couldn't find Catholic Bible studies at the time. So then I went into some Protestant Bible studies, which I don't know if that was such a great thing, but now I'm actually thankful. But I went into these Catholic or Protestant Bible studies, and there was a lot of Catholic bashing. They really were not very hip on Catholics. As a matter of fact, I remember going on Ash Wednesday, and I had just gone to Mass, and I had the ashes put on me, and I just thought everybody put ashes on them on Ash Wednesday. And I walked into the Protestant Bible study wearing ashes. And oh my goodness, I can't even begin to tell you the looks that I got. They were like, are you Catholic or something? And I was like, guilty. Like, I didn't even know I didn't even know that the ashes thing was not universal to Christianity. So that tells you that I really was pretty sheltered as a Catholic. So, but going into those Protestant Bible studies, I really went through a period of time where I was doubting my faith, not my faith in Jesus, not my faith in God, but I was really doubting my Catholic faith. And for the first time, I was thinking, gosh, are we all wrong? Because I'm having, all this Protestant feedback coming into my ear telling me that, we're cannibals, and, receiving the Eucharist is literally cannibalism, and you're just beating and persecuting Jesus over and over again. And I was really conflicted, really having some troubles. But the incredible thing about that is that I got a hold of a book by, I'm sure a lot of you have heard of it, by Scott Hahn, called Rome Sweet Home. And I read that book, and I know for a fact that that was such a gift from the Holy Spirit. Because after reading that book, for the first time, I understood why I was Catholic, and I was so excited about the sacraments and the fact that I was so blessed to have been born into such an incredible faith. But I will tell you that even with that, I was still going through some doubts myself of the actual validity of the real presence of Christ in the Eucharist. And so I went on some fasting and praying and just some real searching with God, and just asking him, please, Father, please, I know we're not supposed to be seeking signs, and I should just believe it by faith, but I'm really struggling. And I was asking God to please show me whether or not Jesus was really present in the Eucharist. And I know now this, you can take this for what you will, but there was a priest at the time. My kids were in Catholic school at the time, and I was having them go to this particular church because of the school. And I have to be honest, I didn't care for the priest. I just didn't care for this priest. We'll just put it there, and I'm going to leave it there. And I didn't feel like he was genuine. I didn't feel like he was the real deal. And again, I don't want to judge him, and I need to leave it there. But ironically, God will use whomever he chooses to teach us lessons. And so there was, after a lot of prayer and some fasting, I remember I was in Mass one day, the children's Mass, when my kids were at school. And I was praying, God, please, this is right before, this is when the priest is consecrating the host. And I looked up, and again, you can take this as you will. You can think that I need locked up or something, but I'm sure a lot of you have had some experiences similar, so you'll believe me. But I remember looking up, and this priest that I didn't really have a lot of respect for and didn't really care for, I literally saw as real as I can see myself. I looked up and I saw the broken body of Jesus, after that he had, the way his body appears, and let's say the Pieta, or when he was just coming down from the cross. I literally saw the broken body of Jesus in the arms of Father up on the altar. And it was after that experience, my hair is bugging me, like caught in my hair, caught in the shirt. But after I saw that, I can tell you, I have never since then ever doubted the real presence of Christ in the Eucharist. And I also will tell you another thing is I have something called celiac disease, and I think it's pretty, used to be nobody knew what that was, but now it's, people are pretty familiar. And it's similar, it's more severe, but I'm really severe, by the way. And it's where you have a complete gluten intolerance. And I can tell you now that a lot of times I'll get contaminated, is what you call it, at like a restaurant, and I'll order food and I'll say, if you give me wheat or gluten, I'm going to have to call 911 and go to the ambulance, because I really am severe, not quite that bad, but I don't want them to take it lightly at a restaurant, because I don't want to be sick for a month. So anyway, I literally cannot have any wheat or gluten. And there's been times when, I don't even know that I'm ingesting it, and I'll wake up at 3 a.m. vomiting and sick to my stomach and having the most horrendous stomach pains where I think I need to go to ER, and then I'm sick for a month after that. So I'm telling you, it's severe. But I know for a fact that I can receive Jesus in the Eucharist and I don't get sick. And my mom can attest to this. I could have doctors attest to this. And I know that this is another proof, not that we need this, but another proof that Jesus is very much real, is that it is his heart. We are no longer taking bread, which would make me sick, but we are literally having the very heart of Jesus when we consume him and the Eucharist. And it's real. It's as real as you and I are breathing right now. It's that real. And I don't get sick from, daily communion, weekly communion. It doesn't matter. I don't get sick. But as I say all of this, we know that we are receiving the real presence of Jesus. But as we back up and we wonder what all this quarantine is about, and I think there's probably lots of reasons why the conspiracy theories are really flying right now, for sure. But I also have to think in my heart that there is a part of this that is, God letting us see. I want you to realize, like Jesus coming to us saying, I want you to really understand what it is that you are receiving in the sacrament of the Eucharist, what you really have available to you when you go to adoration. That's one of my favorite things to do, is to go to adoration. And I haven't been able to other than twice now during this whole time. And, my heart is just, I'm mourning. And I know all of you can identify with this, that we're mourning that loss of what we had. And so I'm hoping and very prayerful that through all of this, that, of course we know Jesus always makes all things come together and work for good. That we know, that I can attest to in my life for sure. But we do know that through all of this, I'm just praying so much that those, 70, oh my goodness, I hope it's not 70%, but that huge percentage number that Father Barron was discussing, that after this, that people will really have this realization that Christ is literally present, that what we have as a Catholic in the Eucharist is an absolute miracle. And that through all of this, I'm hoping that our church will come together more and the sacraments will be adored in the way that Christ wants them to be. And that I myself will never, take Mass for granted again, and think, oh, I got to go to Mass, and then, slap myself saying, don't even think such a thing. But, sometimes I do. But that I'll realize that, it can be taken from us, that if God doesn't think that we are honoring him in the way that he chooses, chastisement's there. It's real. It can be stripped. And that hopefully that when we, get our Mass back, when we get Jesus back, and hopefully soon, that I'm hoping that, a miracle happens after Easter, that so many of us, myself included, will never again, take it for granted. And for any of you that are doubting that the real presence of Christ, it's my prayer that you, through all of this, will have that realization that God gave me, and he will give it to anybody. I'm nobody special. He'll give it to anybody. That you will really see and honor, that we'll all honor together as a Catholic faith and a Catholic body of Jesus, that we will honor it and never, ever take our sacraments for granted again. So anyway, thank you so much for listening to me blabble on. I really appreciate it. And I just hope that you all just have the most blessed and holy Easter ever. And that we all soon are sitting in Mass again and have this newfound just incredible awe for the miracle that we have as Catholics. God bless you all, and happy Easter to you all.